Hey guys, it's Jill. Welcome to my booktube channel. This video is going to be a reading vlog and I'm really excited for this one because I'm going to be reading Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I really need to take off this ugly sticker on top. One second. This is a new release and it was released on the 2nd, so just earlier this week, and I'm very excited for this because I've enjoyed other books by Abby Jimenez, so I'm really excited to see how this one's going to go. I've read the blurb of it actually and it seems kind of silly, but I feel like Abby Jimenez usually brings like an emotional, like a pretty big emotional aspect to a lot of her books. So I'm eager to see how that goes. I was actually worried when I went to Indigo today to pick this up because online said that there were 15 copies in store and that they were in the general romance section. So that's where I went and I found all of her other books, but I couldn't find this one. So I was thinking maybe it was a mistake and they actually had none. But then I found a bunch right at the cashier, so I got pretty lucky. And also, before I get too far into this video, there will be full spoilers of this book, so just beware before you continue watching. I'm going to get right into reading this and I'm so stoked to be starting this new contemporary romance book, and I have pretty high hopes. I feel like it's going to be like a 4-ish or higher stars, hopefully. I'm only on page 22 actually, but I have a little bit of an idea what's going on, so I'll kind of explain. So the MMC Justin, at the start of this, he posts on the Reddit page, Am I the Asshole? And it's this whole story about him and his friend, which the background to that is that he has this problem of dating people and then those exes end up finding their true love after breaking up with him. So then the FMC Emma ends up seeing this on Reddit and she's like, hey, I have the same problem. So then she DMs him just to kind of be like, hey, like I've been in the same situation many times and yeah, it's super annoying and it sucks. They talk back and forth for a little bit, but then that's kind of the end of that. But then in the last few pages that I read, Justin's friends suggest that he try to date Emma, which might be a little bit difficult because she's a busy travel nurse, so he doesn't even know where she is at the moment exactly. But the rationale is that if they date each other, then their curses will kind of cancel each other out, so then after they break up, they'll be able to find the loves of their lives. So what I'm thinking is that there's definitely going to be fake dating here, and then obviously they'll end up together after, I don't even know like what the process will be, but I'm excited to find out. Back for another update on chapter 8 now, page 79. What's been happening is Emma, and I can't remember if I said it in previous clips or not, but she does travel nursing with her best friend Maddie, and they take turns choosing which city that they do their next contract in, which the contracts are, if you're unfamiliar with travel nursing, they're usually like a few months. So their next contract is supposed to be in Hawaii, which sounds literally so amazing, and I think it might have been in the ICU. But then Emma is like, please, can we please go to Minnesota instead of Hawaii so that she can meet with Justin and date Justin so that her and Justin can be broken free of this curse or whatever. I definitely thought that was pretty crazy that she really wanted to go to Minnesota just for this guy that she talked to for like maybe like a few times from Twitter or whatever. Actually, I guess it was from Reddit. And even her friend Maddie was like, girl, we are not making our decisions based on a boy, like literally get it together, like what are you doing? But Emma ends up convincing Maddie and saying that they didn't actually sign any paperwork for Hawaii yet, and I mean, I don't think she even said this, but technically I guess they could do a different contract in Hawaii later after they do this Minnesota one. So it's not like they'll never go to Hawaii, but still I would definitely want to go to Hawaii versus like Minnesota. Also though, the unit that she found was a med-surg unit, and she's kind of telling Maddie like, oh, I found a contract already, it's at this hospital, it's really well known, we'll be working with like top surgeons and stuff. And Maddie was like, oh, what unit is it? And she's like, oh yeah, it's med-surg, kind of like brushing it off. And Maddie's like, what's that? And she's like, oh yeah, it's a med-surg unit. And when Maddie heard that, she's like, we're not doing that. But I guess Maddie's just being very understanding, and the reason that Emma really wants to get this dating with Justin over with is that so they can break their curses fast, and then she can finally date someone that's going to be like the one, okay? Honestly though, if I were Maddie, I would be pretty annoyed, but she seemed pretty chill about it actually, and I'm really enjoying reading about the friendship dynamic between Emma and Maddie. So they're in Minnesota now, and Emma is just about to go on her first date with Justin. I think she is just meeting him right now. So we'll see how their first date goes. I think I am halfway through now. I'm on chapter 24, page 209. It looks like I'm halfway through, maybe like just a little bit more than halfway. So I don't think I said this in previous clips, but Emma's mom is kind of absent. Emma, when she was a child, was in foster care, and her mom would kind of just come and go as she pleased. She kind of actually reminds me of the mom from the TV show on Netflix, Maid. Just kind of unpredictable. So she ends up surprising Emma and Maddie in Minnesota, and then randomly she meets their landlord and they kind of hit it off. So she's staying with the landlord, which is super weird because the landlord also ends up being the surgeon for their nursing contract. Emma is kind of happy that her mom's there, but is aware in the back of her mind that her mom might leave at any point. But Maddie is more protective of Emma, and she wants her mom to kind of just like leave because she knows how much her mom's hurt Emma in the past. Specifically, I think it was Maddie saying that Emma should tell her mom not to date the landlord because it's kind of like a conflict of interest since he works at the hospital with Emma and Maddie. But Emma could see how happy her mom was with him and thinks that maybe her mom's changed, but I'm thinking that's probably not the case. So she really just like doesn't want to say anything to her to upset her mom and stuff. So her and Maddie kind of got in a little bit of a fight with that, and I could understand both sides. Like, Emma was saying she didn't want to just like weaponize the fact that she did bad things to other men and like used other men in the past because her mom was telling her that she went to therapy and that she's better now. But then Maddie is thinking like, your mom has disappointed you time and time again, so why would you kind of believe her this time? Which is kind of sad, but I feel like Maddie is probably right in this case. The first date with Justin, it seemed like it went well though. They went to like a cat cafe. Justin also is kind of not in the best situation at the moment either because his mom is actually going to jail for embezzlement, so he's going to be the primary caretakers of his 3 siblings. And he's going to have full custody of all of them, which has been difficult for him, but also he's starting to like Emma and Emma's starting to like him. So he doesn't think that she would want to even take that responsibility of like, if they end up together, of being in custody of these kids, which Emma's even said just like in her inner thoughts that she's not even sure if she wants her own kids. So I feel like, I mean, I think they're going to end up together in the end, but that's like a huge thing, and I just think there could be like a point where they're not together for those reasons. But yeah, at this point they're both kind of liking each other, and from the start they kind of were interested in each other. I mean, that's the reason she went to Minnesota for him in the first place, but for some reason it didn't seem like super insta-lovey to me. And I mean, they haven't even kissed at this point and we're halfway through the book, so it's kind of like mutual interest, I guess, from the start, but kind of slow burn-ish. I don't know, maybe not even, but I don't know exactly how to describe that. So far though, I'm really enjoying this, and I feel like I'll be able to finish this in a few more hours, and I will update you guys soon. I have, I think, about 100 pages left. I'm on chapter 37, page 309, and so far what's been happening is that Justin is really trying to get her to stay and get a full-time job at the hospital that she's at. And the first time he asked, she's like, no, like, I'm not willing to do that. I just don't think that we're in the right spaces to be together. Not spaces, she said they were in different, like, what is the word? Different places in their lives, and that pretty much just wouldn't work out for them. Otherwise, there's been lots of acts of service in here by, I feel like, both sides, from Emma and from Justin. Also, they're both like troopers, honestly, because Emma was helping Justin's siblings because they all had lice. so she helped get the lice out of their hair. And then Justin stayed with her for a few days because she had a stomach bug and was like throwing up every 5 minutes, and then he ended up getting the same thing. Then what just happened is that Justin asked her again to please stay, and she just answered. The last sentence that I read was her telling Justin that she would try and stay and just like see how it works out. So I feel like now they're going to be like more together rather than just doing like their little deal thing that was planned from the start. So we'll see if that ends up happening. I'm also a little bit curious whether or not there's going to be like another conflict at the end that's going to break them up, because I felt like the main thing was her trying to leave, but now that she's staying, then like what else would they be fighting about really? I am happy that they're kind of together now, and there have been times where it's like really funny, and I'm also just like super upset, like when they borderline not broke up, but when she kind of like rejected him, I was like, it hurt. But now they're like together, so it's okay. And I think since I don't have too much left, I'll probably do my last update. The next clip will be my last update, I think. I finished Just for the Summer. This book was so good. I think that this might be my favorite book by Abby Jimenez, and I think I'm rating this one the highest out of all of her other books I've read as well, because I know for Part of Your World, I think I rated that 4 stars, but this one I think I'm rating 4.5 stars. So I really enjoyed this. So it turns out that Daniel and Alexis from Part of Your World are very closely intertwined with this story. So hopefully I get this correct, but Daniel and Emma from here, they share the same mom, but Daniel was raised by the mom's parents, so his grandparents. And then Emma, she ended up being with her mom until her mom wasn't able to take care of her anymore, and then was in the foster system. So then Emma finds Daniel through like a 23andMe situation, and was really hurt and just so upset with how things turned out, and just the fact that her brother had like a very good childhood and she didn't have that. She is so resentful towards her mother and just doesn't think it's fair of everything that happened to her. Also, Alexis from Part of Your World, she was the one that dated Neil, from the one that like is dating Emma's mom in this book, which is crazy. And I feel like if I read Part of Your World like close together at the same time as this, I would have put 2 and 2 together faster, but because I didn't really remember the names and like the situations and stuff, but the stories are so closely connected, and it was just very interesting to read about. I do not know how Abby Jimenez came up with this. It was so good. So once all of these things come out, Emma just realizes that she really needs to work on herself and just like her mental health and her past trauma and everything, and she comes to the conclusion that she can't stay with Justin and the family and everything, and that she has to kind of like be on her own for a little bit to figure everything out and go to therapy and deal with all the childhood trauma that she had. So it ends up being Maddie that chooses where they go next, and Maddie chooses to go to Wakan. I don't know how to say that, but it's where Daniel and Alexis live, and Daniel has like the family estate, so they stay there, I believe, and then they end up staying there for like 6 months. So it is kind of surprising because Emma and Maddie, I guess, are kind of known to just like stay in one place for a very short amount of time and then just go like to the next place right after. But they stay in Wakan, and that's where they kind of start to put roots down. But then, like I said, they end up staying for 6 months, and there's actually a 6-month time jump as well. And I feel like some people might not like the time jump. I think it made sense considering her situation and the fact that she just was not ready to be with Justin and take care of the kids and everything. Like, she really needed to just figure her own stuff out first before she was able to do that. And I think it wouldn't have been realistic if she just stayed with Justin and then everything be just like perfect after that. So I am happy that there was a time jump, but I do realize that some people wouldn't really like that because sometimes you like lose what's happening during that time where there is a jump in a book. I just truly think if she stayed when Justin asked her at first, then she wouldn't be in the right mindset and she wouldn't have been able to show up the way that Justin and his siblings deserved to have someone show up for them. And ultimately, I just don't think it would have been fair for anyone in that situation, which this was actually kind of hard for Justin to accept the fact that, first of all, she stayed in some place, so she was in Wacan for 6 months, and he was like, okay, so you could stay there for 6 months for like whatever that was, but you couldn't stay here for me. And then I think he kind of was able to reframe the situation and realize her reasoning for leaving instead of staying at that time. And of course, at the end, he does forgive her and they end up together. And I just love this couple so much. I just think they're perfect for each other. And I also liked the epilogue because it wasn't just your typical, oh, they're married now with kids and they go Christmas and they go on vacation and blah blah blah. It was short, sweet, to the point, and that was that. So I honestly love this book. I didn't really get that like 5-star feeling. That's the only reason why I didn't rate it 5 stars, but I do really love it, and I would 100% recommend it to anyone who likes contemporary romance, or if you like Abby Jimenez. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this book. If you've read this book, please let me know your thoughts in a comment down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more book content. Thank you so much for clicking on and watching my video, and I will see you guys in a new one next week. Bye.